Namaste. My dear friends, masters, and gods of the universe. Welcome to Digital Dhyana Swadhyaya Yogam program, presented to you by Pyramid Spiritual Societies Movement Global and Digital Swadhyaya Yoga Team India. As we all know, that the purpose of this program is knowledge enhancement through these wisdom sharing sessions from great masters all around the world. I'm Saroja Gulapalli from Melbourne, Australia, your host for this session today. Today is the grand finale or the last session of the 21 days Digital Dhyana Swadhyaya Yogam in English language. Dear friends, to make it all the more special, we have JUDI SATORI Madam from New Zealand amongst us as our special guest for this program. Before I invite her, I would like to say a few words about her. JUDI SATORI is an author, ascension teacher, and an activator of human potential. JUDI's role as a spiritual channel and vibrational sound healer is to verbally transmit energy words of new creation, codes of life, divinely designed to expand our human capacity and our abilities as the creators of our own reality. This new spectrum of ascension upgrade energy called ultralight creates permanent alchemical change at the level of the DNA and the cellular template, positively transforming people physically and emotionally. My dear friends, I have known JUDI since 2012, where I got to meet her at the first World Parliament of Spirituality, where both JUDI and I were presenting. I was so thrilled as JUDI took us all on a different plane through her light language. I had never ever heard that before, and the ease with which she did it that day on the stage left me mesmerized. After that, I traveled with JUDI mentally for a month through her beautiful book, Sunshine Before Dawn, The True Story of Why We Are Here on Earth, which was an eye-opener to me, learning about the different dimensions, different beings, and different level of understanding of the universal consciousness. I have attended JUDI's Ascension webinars and have learned such a lot about Ascension and the interesting times that we are all going through currently. Dear friends, let me have this pleasure of inviting JUDI SATORI to take over the show. Today, she's going to share with us wisdom on the new human, activating our divine avatar, human potential. JUDI, madam, stage is all yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Saroja. It was wonderful hearing your memories of when I met you. It's very special.
Yes, madam.
I didn't know this. And that's what really brings me to really begin by acknowledging my namaste to all of you, wherever you are in the world. But particularly namaste to all of you in India, because India is like my second home, as I said to you. And I particularly, with great love and blessings, wish to acknowledge my friend and fellow traveller on this journey of life, Brahmashi Patriji and his daughter, Patri, who I've known for a long time now. It's very special to be speaking to you as well as everybody in the comfort of your homes. And during this time of COVID-19 lockdown, we are confined to our homes, but this has given a tremendous opportunity for all of us to connect in unity and oneness like we've never been able to do before. Because we're in our houses, we are forced to be still in a way that we have never really been forced to be still before, which is probably the key and the most important thing. That in order to transform, in order to have the authentic avatar attributes of our true human selves activated, we must be still. You know, it was Mother Teresa who spoke about stillness, the stillness of the plants, the stillness of nature, and the absolute necessity, if we are to advance or connect to more of the truth of our soul, to be taken on a new journey of our soul, which is what activating avatar human potential is all about, we must first be still. And this is where meditation and the pyramid meditation movement internationally is doing such wonderful work, because all of you who I'm speaking to today, you know what the stillness feels like. You know that when you are in the void of no thing, you receive everything. And so as we begin today, and I'm just a way show, I'm just a conduit of an energy which is of source, of God, of all that is. And what spirit who are working with me, source, God, all that is, and the masters that are unseen, not in human form on this plane, what they most want us to understand and really feel is the mastery within ourselves. Because as we are now here in 2020, we are beginning a very powerful cycle of ascension, which is from 2020, particularly to 2033. And during this time, we as human beings are being upgraded. We're being changed within, as so that the outward appearances of our life and our world order may also change. But the change must first begin within us. And so being able and practicing sitting in the stillness of meditation is like the gateway, the entry point for all to come forth, really. And this is what is occurring. So this is a powerful cycle, a 13-year cycle, and 13 in itself is a lucky number. 13 is the number of awakening. During this time period, we are all being awakened into so much more than we have ever known ourselves to be. And so I would say to all of you now, all of us, celebrate the stillness. Celebrate the fact that in this time of being in the void, of not being able to go anywhere, we're actually going in leaps and bounds somewhere deep inside, and we're being able to access so much more about ourselves than we have ever been able to really touch into. But this is just the beginning. And so this is the story now that I want to tell you, because the story began a long time ago. It began on a soul level when all of us, at one time or another, became an individuated spark of consciousness, separate from the Godhead, the source of all life. And for most of us, those lifetimes were not human. They were not on the earth. They were way out there, maybe in this Milky Way galaxy, or maybe in some other galaxy entirely. Because what I've come to understand particularly over the last few years, is that this whole ascension process, which really is about activating human potential in a much more expanded way and becoming the avatar God beings that we were divinely designed to be and become, this whole journey that we are on began in some other time, in some other place, when we were not even in these human bodies. So what made us come here to the earth? Why did we decide on a soul level between lifetimes that, hey, I want to come here and become human? Well, I began to learn the answer to the story when I wrote this book, Sunshine Before the Dawn, that you very sweetly spoke about, because Sunshine Before the Dawn is the story of human creation. And it was a story that was told to me in 2010, and I wrote it in 2011, when I was living in upstate New York in the USA. And from my deck of the house where we were living, overlooking the lake, I saw a large orb of light. This is actually the book. It's been very kindly handed to me. Here it is. There, Sunshine Before the Dawn. So I saw this ball of light hovering above the lake. And as I watched it, thinking this is not a plane because it's too low, and it wasn't making a sound, it was completely silent, a blast of energy came and it hit me in the throat, and I almost fell over. And then I heard a voice saying to me, "We're coming soon." This voice was saying that he was the commander of a spaceship, and that this ball of light was like a hovering craft, part of this big mothership, but it was just coming to do surveillance, really. And this voice telepathically said to me, "We're coming soon to tell you a story, and we want you to write the story down." So this is now 7 years ago, but the story is the story of how the Galactic Council of this Milky Way galaxy decided around 100,000 years ago that they needed to upgrade the species, the beings who were living on Earth, because Earth used to be a place called Tara. And Tara was a much faster pulsating fifth dimensional energy frequency. But over a very long time, and due to very many traumatic events, particularly the fall of the angels, there's a lot of different stories, and it's a very long period of time. So during this very long period of time, the existing beings, we're not human, but the existing beings on the earth became corrupted, which really just means that the energy was squeezed and contracted until they were unable to be reached by forces of light, by forces of God from higher dimensions, more expanded dimensional places. And so the decision was made to create a new type of being with the best of the genetics of some of the star nations within this galaxy. For example, the Syrians, the Lyrans, and with, of course, information from the Elohim, the God beings, the genetic coding of God. And so the human being, Hu actually means, Hu means of God. The human being was a divinely designed creation, deliberately created to be seeded upon the earth, to intermarry with beings from the stars and also with the indigenous beings on the earth. And over a very long period of time, as everyone took on the human DNA code, to become brought into a state of readiness at this divine right time, which is the time of ascension, upgrade on this planet, to be activated. And the human being, as it was created around 100,000 years ago and brought to seed the earth, had a DNA capacity, which we now have today, but that DNA capacity could not be sparked into its fullness until the divine right time, which is really now. So you could say, okay, why is it really now? What's so different about now than 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, any other time period in history? And everything I'm telling you is not because I've dreamed it up or read it somewhere. It's because this is what the information that I've received, because I'm a channel, a conduit for energy, and I've been doing this. This is my experience now for about 22 years or more. And so I'm not trying to preach. I'm just trying to explain a story as the story was explained to me. And then I'm going to bring through energy so you hopefully will feel the story, that you will feel the memory surfacing within yourself and feel the rightness maybe of what I'm saying. And so, just drink some water. And so, just to summarize, the human being was deliberately created, divinely created 100,000 years ago, brought to seed the earth. And during this time period, 100,000 years, this is 4 great ages or 4 cycles of approximately 26,000 years, which is the cycle of earth precession. It's like a great year or a great age. So after 4 great ages, and 4 is a cycle of divine creation, we're at the beginning of a new 5th great age, a 5th age of light, which many ancient cultures have written about and prophesied and spoken of. And so we're now at this new time. And what is really happening now is that Surajai spoke about codes of light. The energies that are being transmitted through the vessel, which is me, I'm nothing special, I'm just a vessel for energy, are designed to activate more of our human DNA so that the previously dormant aspects of human DNA, which scientists might refer to as junk DNA, can actually be switched on to express and to activate a whole new way of being and becoming for us as human people. Because let's face it, we have to change our world. But first of all, we have to change ourselves, because we are the ones who are going to be changing our world. And it begins with peace and love and unity consciousness and meditation, being still. But we have to go beyond that into the divine right action. And it's the divine right time now for this divine right action to occur. And so although many people right now on this planet are experiencing challenge and pain and discomfort and absolute uncertainty. My belief and understanding of what I'm told over and over from Spirit is all is well. We are all going through a divinely designed process of reset within ourselves first and then out there in our world. Because my belief and what I'm told is that in these next few years, people will be sparked to remember positive attributes that they may have been really good at in previous lifetimes, or aspects of our DNA might be sparked and triggered to activate, switch on, so that we are more capable of bringing through new technologies to help our planet. We've seen this through the ages with very special people who've been born at certain times to do special things. Take Albert Einstein, for example. You know, so this is going to happen more. These little children that are coming into the earth now are very switched on. They are very astute. They know, and they've been brought through, born incarnated at this particular time period to help our planet. And so I am being told, right as I speak to you now, in 50 years' time, the earth will be much a better place to live than it is now. And yes, we are faced with all sorts of problems right now. Climate change being a major one, pollution, people being afraid of what is ahead, losing jobs, that sort of thing. But Spirit, tell me over and over again, all is well. Do not be concerned. This is a divine time of reset. So to begin a little reset for all of us today, because I'll bet many of you, or some of you at least, who are listening, we're all human and we're all going through our human stuff and we all have our human concerns. So what Spirit want to begin with is to have me transmit some energy to make us stronger from the inside out. So it's energy that will affect your core to make you feel instantly and immediately so much stronger. Almost like you're a lion. You can cope with anything. You can climb the highest mountain. You can go beyond what you might have felt that you could ever do and go beyond. So it's pretty interesting. So we're being beefed up, ramped up, if you like, and supported to be the avatar beings that we were originally designed to do. We are, all of us, the same. We are all, as human beings, divinely created species. We all have the capacity, because we were all created by the Creator, the one, God, Source, all that is, to be Source, all that is inside ourselves. But first, we must sit in the silence and allow the energies to transform us, because when we sit in stillness, the energy, which is like light, sound, vibration, frequency, can affect us much more powerfully. It's like we are like the clear lake. So when we calm the mind and when we meditate and when we sit in the stillness, the clear lake of our own soul, the clear lake of our own mind is much more receptive to the energies of the stone being dropped into the lake. And this is a metaphor for the light language, the energies that is my privilege to bring forward to everybody now. So if you just sit as you would for meditation, put your hands as you would for meditation, cross your legs as you would for meditation, and just be in the stillness. And in the stillness, let the word of God speak. And we might hear. So we might hear. Mikli kushla satabalakoya. Adabalakosi stöße dabalakosa malakosokul. Ishtanna madakosa the casa de kajadaka. So of course we've all got a spine. And sometimes we refer to this as this person is spineless, or they have no backbone, which just means that they have no strength. So what Spirit are doing now is they're strengthening us. They're strengthening our core They're helping us to be strong, to be like the tall tree. Mishleko shleki seji shlosha dasa belokosha disi alamala koza lakisha dakaza kudi mekaze shlaki sedeki mokolaki sechste alapatakoza lakstasa kudi alabatakulukurabatakulukurabatakalai setishti alakarabatakulukurabadaki alakarabatakulukurabadaki ishtis sokolakarabatakulukurabadaka ikulukushtasa kudishta kaseta batakulukurabatka sekoliet sisi apakutokutakabatakude akalabatakulukurabadaki Alguguliki satak sabatakulukulabadaki Oshloka sa kotachishta kasaki kotake. So when I speak these words, they probably, to many of you who have not heard me speak these words before, they probably sound extremely strange. They did to me when they first blurted out of my mouth. And see, nobody has ever taught me to speak this language. These languages are languages of soul. In this particular case, it's a language of source. It's a language of, like, it's a light code coming through to activate something within us. But it is possible for everybody to speak their own sacred languages of light, because this is what happens when we expand more into the soul. When we expand more into the soul's truth, we are automatically triggered to remember more of that soul's truth. And this is why many people, and I've met many in India and around the world, just suddenly get activated to speak these rather strange languages, and also to write the light language. Many people can write the light codes, but it's nothing that anybody is ever taught to do. It's just something that when the time is right, when the vibrational resonance within us is right, we are activated to do. And I really feel for many of you who are listening today, who are watching today, the time will be right for you very soon, if not already, because of the fact that you meditate, because you are practiced at sitting in the stillness and connecting more into the truth of your soul and the truth of your own human self. And that is the gateway. So when we meditate, when we sit in stillness, we are opening to receive the blessings of divine. Simple as that, really. I mean, of course, meditation has profound benefits on health, on anxiety, reducing anxiety, on feeling more loving and expanding consciousness. And these are profound human benefits that we all experience. But the major benefit, as I see it going forward now in these next 13 years, is that meditation is the gateway for rapid change and rapid evolutionary upgrade and rapid assimilation of the codes of light that are being transmitted to us from divine sources now, from this place that I refer to called beyond the beyond, and which sounds a little bit strange. So I'll explain what beyond the beyond actually means, because when I heard spirits say to me, we're taking you beyond the beyond, didn't really know what that meant. But now I understand it to be beyond actually means beyond our human self, beyond our small ego self, to merge more into the soul self. But when we talk about beyond the beyond, we're going outside of this galaxy, our Milky Way galaxy, and we're expanding into a more expanded soul perspective of who we are. We're remembering the timeless, eternal aspect of our soul so much more. You know, it starts with remembering our past lives. It starts with understanding that this life is not all that there is. And I know that you all probably believe that with your background. So, but it's more than that. It's actually understanding that from the time that we became this individuated spark of God, separate from the Godhead, life has been ongoing for us. And at this time, we're very fortunate, all of us, to be here in physical human bodies, because these physical human bodies are going through a powerful time of reset and upgrade also. This is only beginning. But in order for us to truly receive the codes of light, which is like a promise, or a promise fulfilled, a revelation. This is being revealed to us, but the promise fulfilled is what's coming for us in the months and years ahead. The promise fulfilled is the reception into our own soul, our own consciousness, and the reception into our own physical vessel of profound ascension energies that are designed to upgrade our physical system and actually make us more vital and healthy. A lot of people some of you might be thinking right now, well, I don't feel very healthy, and this year I felt pretty ghastly, really, and I don't know what's happening to my health, and I feel like everything is breaking down within me, and I don't know how to fix it. And this is because, and it's very true actually for many people now in 2020, and it was true for me also this year until very recently, and also in previous years. But what I now understand and realize is that as the light or the energy begins to come through our human body more strongly, any energy discordancy that is still held within the cells of the body and within the energy fields of the body, which go out to about 3 feet around the body, this is within the chakra system even, any energy that is vibrating at a lower vibrational rate than the energy that's trying to come into the body, which comes up as energy distortion, which is like powerful, strong, higher vibrational energy hitting up against a wall of lower vibrational density. And this is particularly affecting people at this time because more and more the very deep level karmic vibrational trauma is coming up to be released. But also we're living on a planet where the mass consciousness of many people is becoming more anxious and fearful. And we are taking that into our energy systems, either consciously or unconsciously, because the lower vibrational energy will always pull towards the higher vibration. So what is required for us is to first understand that, what's happening to us, and then work to actually strengthen the temple of our physical body. Now, you do that really well in India because India, you have this long sacred tradition, ancient tradition of Ayurveda and of being able to balance the body, and your food is also of very high quality, and you know, there's such a lot of knowledge about how to balance and heal the body. So I was speaking to Samita, actually, who's going to be on the call on this session a little later. And we were discussing this afternoon the fact that there's a lot of COVID-19 cases in India, but people are recovering more quickly than maybe in other parts of the world. And it's certainly to do with the temple of the body being physically stronger, like immune system physically stronger. So we need to understand this, but also what is really occurring now for all of us as we prepare to open to receive these more and more powerful ascension energies that are getting stronger and stronger now in 2020 and getting stronger every year to 2013, is that we need to learn how to upgrade the resilience, the strength, the vitality of our physical body. And so a lot of my work with spirit, and then particularly in the next 3 years, is about bringing through energy which is going to strengthen the body and open up the energy meridian system of the body and repattern the chakras to handle this energy so that our human selves can go beyond mere healing. So we're going beyond healing, which is balance. We have to come into balance first, to aspects of physical regeneration. I feel very strongly that the physical regeneration goes in tandem, hand in hand, but also precedes a lot of the energies that will open up mind power potential within people and allow for new technologies and new ideas and abilities to come forth in those people who are destined to bring this information out in the future. But the foundation has to be the physical, because as the energy gets stronger, the physical body has to hold this frequency. So this is why it's becoming important. So I'm being prompted by Spirit to just drink a little water. And I say to all of you, drink water if you have it beside you. And at the end of this session today with me, go and drink some water, because the water will help conduct the energy through your body and it will help you feel better. It's just simple hydration, but because the energy is quite strong, and I feel that we're going to be doing some more energy work in a moment, it has an effect on the body, and to assimilate it, we need water. So I hope you're all doing well. I can't see you or hear you, but I can see you, Surajai. How are you?
I'm quite well, and I'm so excited waiting for the next phase.
Next phase. Well, the next phase is about the body. And the next phase of the energy that we're going to bring through is about bringing strength and resilience to the body and helping our bodies to overcome multifaceted stresses. Now that means everything, multifaceted stresses coming at us. So it's about strength and resilience. And we're going to work first with the base chakra, because the base chakra right down here, you can't see on the screen, but the base chakra is, you all know I'm sure, is to do with physical vitality and energy. So we're going to be working with the base chakra, because the base chakra is also to do with survival issue fear. So if we are anxious about survival, if we are anxious about our job, it is going to affect our base chakra. And of course, once our base chakra is not spinning properly, every chakra gets out of sync. So we're going to work and do some work with the base chakra, and we'll see what happens. So you can just put your hands palm up or just over the base chakra if you're sitting at home. And we'll just bring through this energy now. You might feel tingling or vibration in your body. Hopefully you'll feel more innervated, more energy. Akolapatia, Alatapatia, Alapatiku, Zolabatakarabatakabaki, Ulokotakatabatakarabatakarabatakarabaki, Okoloko, Toko, Saka, Shoko, Zapatakudatati, Atapatokodakatabatakabaki, Okolopatakabatakabaki, Okolokoda, Atapatakulukabaka, Saku Sokushti, Atapatakulukabatakalakalakalakadi, Alakabatakada, Sakushto Sokudi, Akude, Sokude, Shilokod, Salabadi, Atapatakulukabatakalakalo, Soda, Sandakabaki. And just take a deep breath. And so I'm being reminded to say to you all, I'm sure you know this, love is the key and the way. Jesus Christ, great master, Jesus, said this. Love is the key and the way. And the reason he said this is that at the vibratory state of love, vibrating in the body through the heart chakra and expanding through our energy field, is also, like meditation, a gateway into expanded states of consciousness and higher evolution. Becoming a human avatar is higher evolution, expanded evolution. It's the next step on our eternal journey of soul. Several months ago, I started to talk about the fact that as souls, also as people, but as souls, we had come to the end of a very long alpha to omega cycle. Alpha is the beginning letter of the Greek alphabet, and omega is the end letter. So the alpha to omega cycle is the cycle of soul, as it was explained to me, from the beginning of our soul coming into a separated, individuated form, separate from the Godhead. An awful long time ago, that is, for most of us, because most of us are very old souls. Until now, when we reach this omega point. But the thing about it is that we're not going anywhere, you see. We're still in these human bodies. But we've come to the end of a massive, very long soul cycle. And most of that soul cycle was about ingathering experience and learning, and it was mostly associated with karma and karmic, being on the karmic wheel of life. And karma is energy. Karma is like, as you sow, so you reap. Like attracts like. And we really had to go through the school of hard knocks, really, on this planet and in other places, where what we thought and the actions we took created our reality in this life and the next. And we know this is karma. But what Spirit wants us to understand now is that we are now, and I feel everybody who is listening to this program, I don't mean every person on this planet. I mean those that are evolved enough in love and stillness to be able to be recreated at this time. Everybody will get there eventually. But the ones that are ready are beginning to go through a process of great change, which is the beginning of a new alpha to omega cycle of soul, which is free from karma. This is also what ascension is all about. As we ascend, we're not going anywhere, we're not going up, we're expanding into more of the authenticity and the truth of our soul. It's a bit like Spirit is, you know, it's been throwing that stone into the calm lake of our own stillness for all of this long period of time. And the stone, which is the light or the energy, is getting stronger and bigger and has more force. And so the ripples that are, when the stone of light or the stone of energy activation is thrown into the lake of us, and remember the lake of us is the water's within us, and every one of the trillions of cells in the body is 98% water. The energy is the light, the vibration, the frequency coming onto, being shone upon the waters of us more powerfully. Like, and we know that if we throw a big rock into a pond, the ripples are bigger, they go out more, they're stronger. So these energies of ascension that are now coming through, particularly in the next 13 years, stronger and stronger and stronger, are like these bigger, more powerful rocks being thrown on the waters of the cells of us. Now, we know
you're saying
also
this is the omega point, is it?
This is we're
point.
going on a new cycle of alpha to omega now. We've completed one, a very long one. I don't know how long this next alpha to omega cycle will be, but what I'm just being told here, maybe 10,000 years. I don't know. But this is what they're saying, that this is a much shorter cycle. We've got to this new point and we're expanding beyond it. So within every one of the trillions of cells in the body, we have 2 copies of DNA, one from our mother and one from our father. And we know that this is what creates our genetic characteristics. But we also have another aspect of DNA, which I call soul DNA, which is like the child aspect of us. We've got the mother, the father, and the soul DNA is the vibrational resonance of our soul, which has come with us into different bodies through all of this long period of time, from the start of the alpha to omega cycle that is just now completing, from the time of our souls coming into material form until now, you see. But we are moving into a new cycle of soul, which is all about ascension. And what I am being told is this new cycle is taking us way beyond who we know ourselves to be and way beyond where we have thought that we would be. But we're in this process of reset right now, Surajai.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just ask you, have you noticed yourself this year that you've been going through changes?
Oh my God, Judy, I just can't even read the exhausting list. In the beginning, it was mind-boggling. I couldn't believe it. But then more and more you learn about the changes. And I was more surprised when you were talking about the base chakra, the Muladhara. That's something that's so intriguing. There's always energy flowing with extra rigor. I don't know how to explain that. That Muladhara chakra, the base chakra activation, can be seen so prominently at this times, if I make any sense to you.
No, you do. Because the primary thing that we have to really get first, after meditation and love, of course, the next step is we have to get our bodies able to handle the energy. Otherwise, we may get a little bit unwell, we'll still be here, but it's difficult to handle. It's one of the things I've really learned recently of how important it is to widen the pyramid of my own physicality so that I can go higher with the energy and bring the energy through, because it can't come through my physical body unless my physical body's strong.
Yeah, Judy, what really interests me is that the part that you're mentioning about the physical vitality, we hear so much about making our spiritual body strong, our mental body, emotional body. But what I loved about when you started today is place focus on your physical vitality. I just love that bit. I think that's what it's a clear message coming out through this session today. Thank you very much.
I think it's very, 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 very important. And I'll just tell you my little personal story, because I found this year very physically demanding. And I honestly, about 3 weeks ago, I felt very unwell. I was not feeling my normal self. And I also noticed over the past 7 years how my health seemed to be declining. I mean, it was not just age. I don't really subscribe to aging, even though I'm, nearly like in my late 60s. I don't really subscribe to aging, because I feel that as we are regenerated by the energies of ascension, we are going to reverse this to some extent. And of course, we will still go from the body, because that's what happens when you're a physical body, and spirit and physical body. You can't live forever. But I strongly feel that as we learn to regenerate our bodies, we're actually going to regress to a degree and live longer. So the first step really is to get the energy system of the body working better. So on that count, let's get the energy system of the body working better by working with the chakras and the meridian system and the axiotonal lines, the feeder lines of light that bring energy through the physical body. Because my experience was that as I was beginning to transmit stronger and stronger and stronger energy over the last 7 years, my physical body felt sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. And I felt it and I looked at it, and it worried me a lot. And it's probably my biggest thing now is to tell everybody, focus on the physical. Because, gosh, we've got to be in these bodies to go anywhere, okay? Don't we?
True.
We've got to be in these bodies.
Yes.
So you don't need to see really where my hands are to get the energy. So if you can't see my hands, don't be concerned, but just put your hands palm up, sitting on your couch, wherever you are. And I'm just going to run some energy frequency to do with upgrading our physical bodies. We're going to go back to the base chakra, and we're going to run energy up the chakra system, up the central vertical power current, aligned with the spine. And we're going to take this energy up through the 12 chakras that we're now operating through and open these up. Because as we open up to the 12 chakras and not just the 7 chakras or the 8 chakras, we are opening up to the divine more and more and more, and we're opening up to the capacity of divine energy to flow into us and through us and activate us into more of our avatar selves. Let's do this now. Shleki kojla sedabela kojlaki amero kosela sidabeda kosi akatabeda kandesia meda akatabeda kalabeda kasokudi alabeda gudu dogura tabeda gudu alabeda ki alabeda gudu alabeda si akasta kadabeda kadabeda ki akola kala 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 sakolushti isia kadabeda kasabeda guzi alabeda gudu gudu wala kali sato sokati akalabeda gudu gudu siti senta kadakoti akala akadakadi madukudi saklabadi okutukota kasapetukudi alakata kusotukudi akasita kusokudi alakodukuda kalabada kalakadaki uholo kojliki makodukuda kaseta kasetuksti alabada kodukuste sakustiki alabada kodushish shabadakati alabada kodukuda alabada kada alabada kada badiki akulusatatia akulusatiki akulusakati. Ada pada kala kala kudu shushu ada pada ki ala pada ki ala pada kudu kala pada kadi sada kadi sada pada algote sakushtiaka. And just take really deep breath through the nose and just expand your chest. Meklis sadishta kasapetu kula kisidia mosur kisida kasabalokoya akata kuzulukushtaka. Eklakaseta sabedokodi, elakaseshtaki. Atapakota kaseta kadabedokula kalisa de siejtia. We're opening up the meridian systems now. What are you feeling when I do this, Surajal?
I just feel more spacious around my heart chakra, or this just opens up more wide and they're so roomy.
So let's see if you feel energy coming through your body now, and you'll know this if you feel tingly or lighter, just physically better, not tired. Isiki petukuseta betikasia mokola kaseta stola kasiaka. And take a deep breath. And have faith. This is an old catchphrase. Faith. Faith can move mountains. I think when we truly understand, and for me, when I truly understood the bigger picture of what is actually occurring for all of us on a human and a soul level and on this planet, it allowed me to release a lot of the anxiety, the human anxiety that I had been feeling. You know, it allowed me to come back into listening to the voice of the heart, which is another important thing about meditation, because when we sit in the stillness, the word of God can speak to us, but also the word of our own soul, the voice of our own soul, the voice of our own heart can speak to us. But we have to be still. We have to let go. You know, we watch the breath, as Patricia so very eloquently says, watch the breath, observe the breath, get out of the head, into the heart, just be. And when we sit in that energy of complete stillness, like the observer of the breath, we detach from the fear and anxiety that so often takes us over and begins to run and rule our life. And then we understand and trust that we are all children of God, of the divine. And whatever experiences we may be having, when we come back into that still place of love and trust and knowingness, knowing that all is well, and that we are guided and guarded and protected, it begins to transform our reality. Because when we come back into that still place of trust and love and unity and that everything is okay, our vibratory state changes. And so we are putting out the energy of, I have faith, I trust, I have gratitude. And when I did some work in 2013 with Mary Magdalene, and what she said to me most and taught me the most was the power of gratitude, the power of the energy of gratitude, and to be grateful for what we do not have as if we already have it.
Right.
And more will be added unto us, you see. When we are grateful for the job, that even though we might have lost it, when we're grateful for this wonderful job, when we're grateful for our friends and our family and the love that we have in our life and the abundance that we have in our life, this is the vibration of abundance that we then pull back to us, because this is the law, universal law, like attracts like. So when we deliberately, just by our thoughts and our consciousness and our attitude to life, live in that way, then we pull those same vibrations into our world.
So that was amazing, Judy, when you asked us to open up our arms. That
Yes.
love and trust was just flowing in. You could just feel that those two words that you used, it felt like you were inviting everything
Yes.
into you by just opening up your arms, and the feeling was amazing.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, Sarajai. And you know, I'm really speaking from my own experience here, because I haven't always trusted, and I haven't always, you know, at times, particularly as have been going through periods of strong energy change in my body to be able to do the work maybe more clearly or better, it has really affected my physicality at times. And I just want you all to know that this is part of the path. But now it's time to strengthen and widen and get strong physically, but also emotionally and in consciousness, and to understand, truly understand the bigger picture of what's actually happening to all of us. Because when we understand it and when we embrace it, it takes away a lot of the fear and the anxiety. So just to summarize now, I want to summarize a few things about this topic today. Meditation is key because it's the gateway for so much and to come to us more quickly. And the changes that we want to create in our life are really ushered in and supported so much by meditation, sitting in the stillness. What is being an avatar even? So the definition of an avatar is really the manifestation of a deity or a released soul on earth. So what a released soul is, it's someone who has been able to step off the karmic wheel, who has expanded beyond the human ego self into the more expanded soul self of understanding the bigger picture. They might still be in a physical human body, and yes, we are, and we're meant to be. We're not meant to beam up and go anywhere. We're in these physical human bodies. But we are understanding life from a much more expanded perspective. That's what being an avatar is. A teacher, someone who understands the more expanded perspective of eternal life and is able to activate consciousness to override the human challenges. Really, that's what avatar means. And so we all have this capacity. We are all avatars in the making. You know, and this is really important for us to understand. No man is different from any other man or woman. We are all the same. We just have to realize the strength of the true love of the soul and of the spirit that lies within us and activate it. When I talk about DNA, the activation of it, more of our human potential, is actually, as I said earlier at the beginning, codes of light, energy from source, God creation, that are deliberately transmitted at this time because it is the right time of ascension for this to occur. Why is it the right time? Because the earth, up until fairly recently, in like 2012, but it was a process of change that began really, I would say, as much as 500 years ago during the, as humanity began to come out of the darkness and bring forward new truths. We've got to understand also that humanity in past cycles was so much more advanced than we are now. We don't realize that sometimes. You know, humanity, what I'm told by Spirit, is the birthplace of humanity when the human being was seeded and brought to the earth was on Mu, Lemuria, the landmass of Mu, the motherland of the human race. And when Mu was destroyed in very powerful and terrible cataclysm, as Plato wrote in One Dreadful Day and One Dreadful Night, the remnant peoples, the survivors of that culture, went out to all the Pacific Rim countries, because Mu was of landmass, or 3 large landmasses actually, in the Pacific. So they came to India, they came to all of these places with the sacred knowledge of Mu and the teachings about the oneness, because Mu really was a colony of the stars, and we are children of the stars here on earth, divinely created with star being genetics and God genetics, you know, like activated by the Godhead, of course, because all in God's house there are many mansions. So what this also means is that the many mansions are on earth, but there's other mansion worlds in other star systems, say Sirius or Pleiades, Lyra, but also in other galaxies. That's what could also be considered to be other mansion worlds of light. And so the codes of light coming through now up until 2033, and my role is to transmit this. Maybe other people will also do this, of course, but it just happens to be my particular role, is to activate and to switch on human DNA in a way that has not been possible to activate before, because as we are earth beings, we are very tied to the resonance frequency of the earth plane. And until the earth plane could shift into the faster pulsating energy frequency of the 5th dimension, which it's now 7 years since really that happened, 8 years in 2020. This is why this year 2020 is so divinely perfect as the ascension catalyst, the ascension reset time, and the activation of what is now to come in the years ahead. So that's where we're at. And that's really the conclusion of the story. So now we just have to see where we are going to be taken on this journey, on this new Alpha to Omega cycle of soul. Where are we going? It's free of karma, for those that are ready to be free of karma, of course, and are not creating more karma for themselves. It's a time of service. It's a time of unity and connection in community, both within our communities where we live in different countries on the planet, but particularly global community, as we are now doing tonight, this morning for you. But as we come into global connection, the thinkers, the actors, activators, the people who are meant to be bringing forward new knowledge to help our planet move through challenge and change, they are coming to the fore. And so part of the activation of the DNA potential within us is to activate past abilities and to bring this out in us as human people now, as we begin this new pathway, this new chapter of our own human story, but this new chapter of our own eternal soul story. It's both. It's the new chapter of human beings, more expanded into our soul, but anchored in our physical body. And it's a new story, a new chapter of who we are as people. So we're
What an
getting ready for
exciting
wonderful
times.
things. It is very exciting time, isn't it?
Very, very exciting, Judy. Even as you just mentioned, every cell in my body has just gone up in vibration. I can just connect to what you're saying, but it's more of excitement. And, you know, it's a time, it is a fearful time for majority of the people, but not for those people who have already understood what's happening and they're connected globally. That oneness you can see in every part in life, isn't it, Judy?
Yes, absolutely. And Sarajai, it's a time of helping each other. It's a time of helping our brothers and sisters. And if one person is down or feeling worried or a little upset, stepping up and being there as support for that person and reminding each other, one another, that we are not alone. We're not alone. And I really hope that you felt the energy as it came through, because when you feel the energy, you know absolutely you're not alone, because it's only words. It's not me transmitting the energy. It's spirit.
Yes.
It's source.
Yes. Honestly, three things that just came out so clear and loud, Judy, was while you were talking in the light language, the way the energy was traveling through my temples, and that's how I could relate. I'm sure, you know, each of our viewer could relate in their own way, but it was so pronounced, the energy traveling all the way like electric shocks. And I really enjoyed every bit of your light transmission and the code of lights that were coming through. I've always been a big fan when you say this code of lights.
It's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate it. And it's so lovely to have you be the person who is connecting and talking to me here, Sarajai. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Two things, Judy, I just wanted to add before I handed it over to others also for an opportunity was, I like the topic you said. You know, all this time we've been waiting for avatars who would come from some other planet to help us out in time of need. But I like the way you have evolved this topic is avatars are not going to come from anywhere else. We are going to awaken our own human potential, and we are the avatars.
We absolutely are the avatars. Yeah, we've got to realize that we are the avatars. And, you know, we may have support coming from other star systems in the years ahead. I very strongly think that we may. However, they're really there as our teachers and our guides. They're not there to take over. They want us to step up. It's a bit like we're graduating from secondary school and we're in the moment we're in university, we're getting our PhD, and then we're going to graduate. So this time that we're in is about getting our PhD, which is avatarhood.
Yeah. And also another important thing, Judy, this is on behalf of all the viewers that I would like to convey my gratitude to you, is that significance on oneness that you have mentioned. All these days and all these years, it was our individual journey. We sit in meditation, we are thinking about our progression, we are doing things for our own betterment. But now is the time, if we have to grow as a race, as a species, it has to be in oneness. It has to be in that group consciousness. I just love that fact. And many are always better than one. So that really intrigues me.
It totally is true. And it's just like a snowball, and we're all little, you know, molecules of drops of water, and we're joining together. And, you know, we know that when, you probably don't know because you don't have snowballs in India, but we've just had a lot of snow here in New Zealand, and I was caught in the snow. It was about 9 inches yesterday. And like, the snow is also about purity. So when we join together, like little drops of water becoming this massive ball, and when you make a snowball and you roll it down the hill, it gathers more snow. This is what unity consciousness is all about. We become more powerful when we join in together. It's this program is all about, this digital dhyani. We are being supported, all of us, because we are joining together And I know that you've had some wonderful speakers teaching some very enlightening, important information over the last 21 days. And this is really, really important because we all learn from one another. I think that's very pivotal and key. No one is an expert in everything. And if we learn from one another, we become pretty enlightened about lots of things, which is good. Next,
Sure,
first
Judy.
step. Yeah. So
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And I think we have Samita waiting to talk.
Yes.
I can see
Yes.
her up there on the screen. So
That's right.
I want to introduce Samita. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. That was really a very nice wisdom sharing session. And we really are grateful and thankful for this great session where we had a chance to, again, hear from you the codes of light. And as you said, of course, we have Samita ji here. Samita ji, would you like to, yeah, you've already unmuted. Would you like to share your experience, please?
Hello, Samita.
How are you, Judy?
I'm very well. And I asked Samita to come on the program because Samita is a very dear friend of mine from Mumbai. And she, more than anybody, she knows the energy. And so I wanted you to explain to those people who might be in their living room and have never heard this rather weird stuff called light language before, maybe a little bit how you first experienced this energy and what you have felt about it over the years, because we've known each other for 7 years, I think, at least. Yeah. Long time.
Yes. Yeah. To begin with, sometimes there are no words, as I was telling you in the morning today. Experience. I had experience in 2012 first when I meet you. And my whole body was like shaking and vibrating. And first time ever, I see all these ascended master, huge, tall, and this was in Pyramid Valley in Bangalore when she had come for the conference. And yes. I had closed my eyes and she was saying light language. And I said, okay, let me see what that is, because it was first time. And I was like not able to open my eyes after she finished as well. I was just sitting still and very much like a stone. I was not able to move because I could see these beings, huge, all these Buddha and Jesus, huge, very tall, right? Like they were crossing the pyramid. They were so tall. I was like stunned. I said, is it really an experience or what? And my whole body was vibrating with the language of light she was talking, because as she rightly said, this language is the language of the soul. And unless you experience it, unless you hear it, because I was not able to understand, frankly, honestly, no words. I was not able to understand. But I was able to feel it in my body, in my skin. And wow, it was really very, very beautiful. And that's the time I went and told Judy after she finished, and I come into my consciousness of my being. I told her, what were you talking? Why did I feel this way? It was awesome, Judy.
Yes, yes, Samita, that is
really
true.
Interesting, because I want to tell all of you that I'm just like you. I didn't ever expect to speak these languages that I sort of just know. And I feel it's because in past life, in the book Sunshine Before the Dawn that I showed you,
yes,
I feel that I was the chief character called Isayenya, who was from Sirius, you see. And that's one of the lifetimes that I probably learned to speak these universal languages of light, and I just know the language. But how it happened for me, is that I was at a spiritual festival in New Zealand in 2002, and Spirit said to me, we want you to bring some energy through. And I'd never spoken a word of light language in my life until then. I didn't even know what it was. But I duly did it, and I said to everybody in the tent, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is what I'm told to do, so I'm going to try it out. And so I shut my eyes because I was too nervous to keep them open. And from out of my mouth came this really strange sounding torrent of language. And I felt a bit embarrassed really because it sounded really odd. And I opened my eyes to see what was happening. And it appeared that the energy was having an effect on people beyond what I knew or understood. But this is a long time ago now, so 18 years ago. So after a long period of time, I've just come to realize that this is my purpose. You know, we all have a destiny plan for our soul, and this just happens to be mine. My role is to activate people
So,
for the next
Judy,
stage of our offer to Omega Soul. Yeah,
did it take a little bit of practice, or just from
No.
the day one you were as fluent as you're now?
Day one. From day one. I've never practiced it. I've never been taught it. There's like you might have noticed, there's a split-second delay, and then I speak. Like I will speak now, and I telepathically hear what I'm going to say, like probably half a nanosecond before I speak it. So I don't know what I'm going to say until it comes out of my mouth. So I can't prepare what I'm going to say like you would prepare a speech, really, because I don't know what I'm going to say, which is a good thing in some ways, because you never have to use notes, because you can't use notes because you never know what you're going to say. It's easier in a way.
But do you know when it's coming, or it can just come whenever you want?
I only know that it's coming a split second before it's coming. Okay. And I don't walk around the supermarket speaking light language, you know. It's something that Spirit transmits to me when it's the right time. And it just sometimes, when it comes out of me for myself, it's because I'm going through some sort of upgrade. And the languaging it is the sacred language of the soul. So when I speak the words, which is why when you speak light language, it's good for soul evolution and upgrade, because it helps the soul to remember so that we can go to the next step of our personal destiny plan, our individual destiny plan. So if I speak some languaging now, which is like a blessing, because I know that we're probably running a little bit short of time, see what you feel, because this is like a blessing of soul to help all of us remember the truth of who we are, what our destiny plan is, because we're all different. We're all here in this physical body in this lifetime for different reasons. We all have something we're meant to be doing. And a lot of people get quite angsty, quite worried because they don't know what they're here to do. But I say to you, if you don't know what you're meant to be doing or you're here to do, just focus on the knitting, which means focus on the basics. You know, I create a lot of programs over the years. These are the basics, the tools that people can use to get themselves ready for what is to come as part of their destiny plan. So I just transmit this energy now to you, all of you. It's like a blessing, a gratitude blessing. This blessing is not just light language. This is actually able to be translated. So I'm going to translate what is being said. And the words are in English: it's time to rise up, to reclaim yourself, to step into your power and to trust the journey that you are on. But to walk the journey, to go on the journey, you have to take one step in front of the other. You have to walk it. So don't hold back. Trust the process. And if you feel prompted to do something or say something or write something, do it. Don't be distracted by, they're saying, other people's opinions, other people's expectations of you, what they think you should do. It's about what is within our heart for us to do. So it's really about walking forward, be strong, seize the day. What that means is every day begins with sunrise and ends with sunset and going to bed. Don't waste a day, spirits say. Don't waste a day in this body, because it won't come again in this body. Seize the day and take as much beauty and joy from each day, they say, as you possibly can. Rejoice. Rejoice. And love one another. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Judy. Judy, we have
Thank
got Trisha Roberts, one of our viewers, who is saying, Codes of the Light retreat was the highlight of my year 2020, and she's very thankful to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we have
the codes, thank you.
And another gentleman, Subramanyeshwar, says, love, ma'am, a huge fan of yours, a great knowledge imparted in Sunshine Before the Dawn book. Of course, I agree.
Thank you. Well, I have to write the sequel. I have to write the next one soon.
Oh, are you planning to have a sequel?
Yeah, I think there's 2 more books coming. I just have to write them and get still enough to write them to be able to receive the information that is to go in them. I'm getting there.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Judy, if you may permit, I would like to go to our panelists. So,
Yes.
I would like to go to Dr. Dhiren. Dhiren, sir, would you like to say something, your feedback or a question or anything you want to share with Judy, madam? You can turn on your microphone and your video, sir.
Yeah, I have started my video, but I don't know why it's not showing.
Okay, maybe Sai can help you meanwhile. And Suresh Babu Garu, can you unmute yourself and switch on your video? This is panelist time where they can have a bit of your sharing with Judy. Yes,
Hello.
Suresh, sir.
Suresh Babu.
Suresh Babu Garu, your video was on. Yeah, and unmute yourself. Yeah, good,
yes.
good.
Good morning, madam. Today is a great day, and you have enlightened us on the divine energy and how humanity can change, can transform. Because today situation is our entire humanity in the globe, throughout the globe, facing COVID-19, and total it changed the shape of the humanity socially, economically, politically. May I ask a small question? What is your perception of life after the effect of this COVID-19? Kindly enlighten us on this. What is going to happen in the near future with the effect of COVID-19?
My perception of life on this planet in the near future, what I think is going to happen? Okay. I'm sort of going out there because I'm not a clever, I don't have a crystal ball. I only get what spirit tell me. But what they're telling me is that there will be maybe troubling times for a while because we are going through a reset. And this is like a birthing process, a rebirthing process. And things may feel like they're getting a bit worse before they get better. But this is necessary because unless change is a big shake-up, like the rug has to be really shaken up for it to be smoothed and put down in a new way. And so they're saying that maybe for the next about 2 years, it may be a little troubling and difficult for people because we are being asked to go beyond an old paradigm view, worldview of life and what we consider life to be and what we consider life to be on our planet and how we expect to live our life on our planet. It does need to change, and we all know this, and change is sometimes a little uncomfortable. So I would say, that's what I would say to you and everybody. But they're also saying, hold on for the ride. Hold on for the ride. Don't get despondent. Know that, every mother who's ever given birth knows that the 3rd stage of labor is the most painful. But then you've got the baby at the end of it. The baby is like the new child, the new avatar children that we now have the possibility to become. And what we have to do is we have to give ourselves, as these avatars in the making, all the support that we can possibly give ourselves and rise above the common mass consciousness thinking and rise above the dross and support our physical bodies and support our minds and, you know, like meditate, do everything that we can do to rise above the mass consciousness of people on this planet.
Yeah, sure. Hang in
Not
there.
align.
Yeah.
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 Not align with that thinking. Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, Suresh.
Dhiren sir, have you got your video on?
There's some problem. I've been trying with it. Nevertheless,
No.
I'll do one thing. I'll, just continue speaking to JUDI SATORI, madam.
Yes.
Yes.
JUDI
Yes.
SATORI's light language transmissions can take us on a journey into the past, to travel from despair to hope, from loss to love. JUDI SATORI talks about karma, ascension, and how to connect to astral masters of a higher plane. So how do you manage to release karmic blockages, heal the world, and connect to astral masters of higher planes?
Okay. So the way I see karma, like the law of cause and effect, is energy distortion. And I've worked with karmic release for over 20 years. And I have created many energy programs and short audio recordings which act a bit like homeopathy. Homeopathy is where you take a minute
Pill.
energy component of a certain dis-ease in the body, and that stimulates the release of the disorder or the imbalance in the body. So with my karmic clearing recordings that I have made, and I've housed them in a place like a library, and it's called Ascension Library, ascensionlibrary.org. And all of the programs are designed to be tools for getting us all where we're meant to go. So the karmic clearing tracks, when you listen to them repetitively, they're designed to pull up and release, clear from the body and the body's energy fields and from the consciousness. Because what is vibrating within our chakra system and within the cells of the body and in the body's energy fields translates into how we think and feel about ourselves and about life. Absolutely. So when we clear the stuck energy, we think about ourselves and life completely differently. And so there's many programs there. There's one that I really love, is called Healing the Pain. And this is where other people in past life have done it to us. So say 500 years ago, you had a really traumatic experience where you were beaten and stoned and put to death, for example. Your body, the cells of our body retain that energy memory. And there's all sorts of emotions that may have been created, like anger or sadness, or, you know, many, many different emotions might have been elicited, brought up at that time 500 years ago. So this healing the pain clears the projected energy that has come into our field and literally stuck into us. Now, we are different bodies, of course, from each lifetime, but we do have two very important factors that come with the soul from lifetime to lifetime. And one is what's called the morphogenetic fields. Morpho means to build. So these are the energy building blocks, the field pattern, the energy field pattern of our physical body in each lifetime. And if there is severe energy trauma, like being stoned to death, this energy, and say you were stoned to death and a big rock hit you on the head, the morphogenetic field pattern around the skull may be not as strong and resilient. And so probably later in life, you may have, because as we get older, the energy doesn't function as well. We all know that. So as we get older, and maybe even younger, we may have issues to do with our head physically, you see. So this is because the energy conduction through the meridian system of the body and through the nadis, into the cells, they're not getting the same degree of energy. if the morphogenetic field pattern is distorted because of past life trauma, past life karma. And then there is, and this is physical, but then there is also karmic situation where we might have shut down our heart. We can't love. And there's programs to address this too. Like I have many, but the transcripts of Mary Magdalene is one that is very good for opening up the heart and helping us develop more harmonious relationships with people. Also got one called God Goddess. The God Goddess program is about becoming the God or the goddess that we are really meant to be. So all of these programs have got a lot of karmic clearing energy in them, which when we listen to it releases, and then we can create a new mindset about our life, because we are free of that energy then, and we won't attract the karma in the same way. But while we are vibrating with that stuck, distorted energy, we tend to perpetuate the same old story from lifetime to lifetime. So the karmic clearing tools that Spirit have brought through are really ascension catalysts, and they are helping us break free of this old cycle of soul so that we can begin again free from this karma. So that's what I say to you, Dr. Duran. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so profound knowledge and learning. Yeah. Thank you so much, Judy. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Anuradha, would you like to unmute yourself and switch on your video, please?
Hello.
Madam,
Anuradha. Hello, Anuradha. Hi.
Okay. Madam, first of all, I would like to congratulate you. Today's session was excellent. I learned a lot from your class, that light language and soul wisdom, chakra activation. So, madam, I have one question about what is the difference between Kundalini activation and DNA activation?
Okay, Kundalini is when the energy rises up the spine, and like from the base chakra out through the crown chakra. And Kundalini activation it's a process of soul expansion, a process of opening into more expanded divine higher vibrational energies. DNA activation, for instance, the codes of light that I am transmitting, they are designed to optimize human potential. They're designed to activate aspects of our human DNA code that have been dormant and unable to be expressed. And scientists may refer to this as junk DNA because it seems to be DNA that has no reason for being. But it did not have a reason for being until the divine right time was possible for it to be activated. And so the codes of light are about activating human potential so that we can become the avatar human beings we were originally designed to be and become, which is now. And this is why it's so very, very, we're so very blessed to actually be born in these physical bodies now with this powerful opportunity. And this powerful opportunity to end an old karmic cycle of soul and take this wisdom into a new cycle of soul, but staying in our human bodies, because we're the first ones that have been able to stay in our human body. Jesus didn't get to stay in his human body and go through the ascension process and stay. So we are able to do this now. This is the time.
Okay, madam, I got clarity about difference between the Kundalini activation and DNA activation. Madam, I think in past life we were in India or what, madam? We were clearly telling about avatar, karma, food, and each and everything you are sharing. I feel that you are Indian and soul connection.
I know I've had many lifetimes in India. It just feels so home to me. And I also, I don't think I was one of Buddha's arahats or disciples, because I was a woman, I think, in that life. But I feel that I have walked with the Buddha, and I have this past life memory of washing, I think I washed the robes, washing the robes and like spreading them to dry on the rocks, saffron. And I have these memories. And when I've been to Nepal, and I've had many memories activated in me from past life in both Nepal, India, Ladakh, part of India, really part of my soul's past, very strongly. Yeah, it is.
Wonderful, wonderful, Judy, madam. That's great. Judy, we have one question from our participants, and Mona asks, can you share meditation in light language or tell us where we can find it?
Sorry, what was the first part of that question?
Can you share meditation in light language? So can you give codes
Yes,
of light? Wide? Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. So in my Ascension Library, ascensionlibrary.org, there is many programs, the ones that I've spoken about, but also there is the program called Anchoring the Codes of Light, or just the Codes of Light. And the Codes of Light was a program that I transmitted in a retreat center in New Zealand at the beginning of August, really recently. And this is quite an interesting program because it takes us back. There's a 3-step process. I always find that things come in threes. And this is part of a trinity, you see. It's like building a pyramid. So the first chapter, as we refer to it, of this is resurrection and restoration. And in the first part, we go back to the time of Atlantis and Mu, and we delete old patterns of thought and belief, also going back to Tara, that we may have taken into ourselves karmically in these time periods that are sabotaging or blocking us now to moving into this more expanded state of ascension. And then the second chapter, or the second part, each part is 2 hours. It's a 2-hour session. And then there's 8 codes of light in each of these parts. So there's 24 codes of light in all. The second part is about examining and releasing what is called the myths of our human story. This is thoughts and beliefs that we have taken into ourselves through all of our long journey of soul in human form on this planet Earth. And these myths of our human story also limit us and hold us back. So that was the second day. This is over 3 days. And then the third part is the beginnings of activation advancement. The advancement I'm talking about over the next 13 years, beginning now in 2020. So this program called the Codes of Light also comes with other ancillary teachings like archery and healing. I work with Saint Germain, so it's working with the Ascended Master Saint Germain as well, all part of this program. And if you're interested, you can explore. There's a free explore section in my Ascension Library, so you can go to it and explore what's there and decide whether it's for you or not. You just go to ascensionlibrary.org and read about it there. So Ascension, ASCENSION, library, LIBRARY.org, O-R-G. Ascensionlibrary.org. There's heaps of material there, and I think you may enjoy it.
Yeah, yes, Mona, I've been through the Ascension Library and it's very interesting. There are some videos that when you go through that, they're really amazing. So Judy, thank you for mentioning that. And I'm sure Mona is going to make use of that. And Mona also expresses that her deepest gratitude for your wisdom sharing. She's learned a lot through this session today.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Sai, we have got 10 more minutes for this session. I know you wanted to conclude this session by your Thanksgiving. Did you want me to take one more question or shall we close it here?
Yes, ma'am. You can take another question, then we can conclude.
Okay, you can take, madam.
Okay. So we've got this question from Sai Ravindranath. And Sai is asking, Judy, madam, please tell mixing of mantra sounds or light language sound in breath and taking into quantum DNA level of cell and healing.
Yes. So talking about including mudra and working with light language at the same time, I think that's a really, really good thing. The languages of light, whether we speak them ourselves or whether we listen to what I'm bringing through, are not exclusive to other disciplines and other practices, because it's all light, it's all energy. And so the mudra, when you speak the mudra, it is you are speaking God's word and sacred language anyway, you see. So it's probably going to enhance what you are doing and what you wish to do. And I would just be guided by your own intuition and your own soul self in human form and do what feels right. But I think it's very powerful to do that, actually.
Thank you very much. Sai, I'm sure you've got your answer. And one more last question, Judy, before I can move on. This is a question, this question is a little bit bigger. It's from Dr. Mukesh, and he says,
Yes.
through the process of spiritual evolution, are we not helping the creator and creation to ascend to higher planes of consciousness? If so, is there another level of beings working beneath our earth plane to take us into ascension?
Yes. So Dr. Mukesh, who I do know, and it's wonderful to have you asking this question. I think what you're meaning is, are there beings beneath the earth plane? And I'm assuming this means within the earth itself. I think, is that what you mean?
I think so. That's what he means.
Yes. So yes, I mean, this sounds a little far-fetched in human terms, but for many years, I've been working with beings from a place called Amenti. Amenti is the place within the inner earth, which is to do with the creation of the earth. Amenti holds, I am told, the pulse rhythms, like the heartbeat of the earth. Amenti is also the place of regeneration. Thoth, T-H-O-T-H, the Egyptian ascended master, the moon god of mystery and magic, the deity in Egypt, who was once an Atlantean priest king who took the Atlantean survivors to Egypt, the land of Chem, when Atlantis was destroyed, later became deified as a god. He used to go to Amenti, to the halls of Amenti, to regenerate. So he was able to live a very long life. And, you know, in the Ascension Library, there's quite a number of energy audio recordings, which are journeys to Amenti. In the transcripts of Mary Magdalene, there are 2 recorded journeys to Amenti where you are, when you listen to them, you're actually taken there and you get to meet the lords of Amenti. I think one of the most profound experiences I ever had in my life was in the 1990s. And I went to some of the work by a man called Elton Cameron, who was an Australian. He brought through a teaching called the Melchizedek Method. And he has passed on quite a long time ago now, but he brought through this incredible teaching. And it was one of the first teachings that I ever went to as I awakened into my own self, soul self. And he did a journey to Amenti meditation. And I was really surprised because I saw myself standing in front of these lords of Amenti in this beautiful room, like an octagonally shaped room, in this beautiful hovering pyramid over the lake, like a lake filled with lotus blossoms. And as I opened my mouth, part of the meditation, which was a guided meditation, was, okay, tell the lords of Amenti who you are. So I opened my mouth, I had my eyes shut in my own little meditation to say, my name is Judy. But out of my mouth came the words, my name is Yaisha, child of light.
Wow.
And I had never heard that before, but I understand now this program, the Codes of Light, that has just been recorded, which is on the website in the Ascension Library. I talk quite a lot about the children of light because we are all children of light. We all, as children of light, came to this planet probably during the time of Tara, when Earth was Tara. We went through Mu, we went through Atlantis, we went into the dark ages of karmic trial and tribulation. And now we've risen up like the lotus rises up through the muddy lake to stand in this new place called ascension. This is where we are now, standing in this new place called ascension. And we are all children of light. And the first step is remembering this fact that we are all children of light. And then expanding more into the light that we are authentically. And letting go of the diminishing ego voice of human self, because we're so much more than that. This is what we are all on a journey to discovering. This is our discovery path of soul in human body. And this is really what ascension is all about, Sarah J, and everybody. This is it.
Great,
it's very special.
Great, Judy. Thank you so much for that elaborate answer and taking time to explain it so well. And Dr. Mukesh really expresses his thankfulness and gratitude for explaining it so well. So thank you, Judy. Thank you a lot. I think we'll stop the Q&A session here, Judy. I would take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the whole platform and all the viewers of this particular program of Digital Swadhyaya Yoga. All the panelists and the viewers have really put their energies together, and with Judy Madam's wisdom, I think this was such a great grand finale of the 21 days Digital Swadhyaya Yoga in English language. Madam, I am really so blessed to have the opportunity to host your session. It feels like I'm back in 2012 where you were on the stage in Hyderabad and I was still staring at you while light language was just pouring out of your mouth. So thank you very much for that, reigniting those memories back.
Thank you very much, Sarah Jai. And thank you to all of you who have been on the panel, Samita and Sirish and Dr. Durin and Anuruddha. And
so much,
Kiran, and I know there's people probably waiting to ask a question, and Sai, of course, who has been liaising to organize this with me for quite some time now. Thank you to all of you, and a special thank you to Pyramid Meditation International for inviting me and hosting me and having me to beautiful Pyramid Valley near Bangalore so many times, and I hope I can get back there one day really soon. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, madam.
Thanks a lot.
More classes in your future, madam.
Yeah,
we are so very delighted to have seen you here today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very
much. This
much.
was a real great session. Thanks a lot once again. Thank you so much.
And I wish all of you, wherever you may be around the planet, many blessings. And remember, seize the day. Every day, this is the only day we've got. Seize the day and be who you really want to be and become.
Wonderful.
Go well.
Seize the day. Seize the day is the catchphrase we are taking from here. Great, Judy. Really thank you for all that and the time you have spent with us. Sai, did you want to take it over?
Sai, you want photo na group photo?
And one thing is for sure, Saroja Madam, you are one of the best hosts I have seen. You've done it so well. Thanks a lot to you too. And thanks to the entire team working behind that.
Madam, anchoring is very good. Very nice. Whatever.
Beautifully. She has done so well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks.
And Judy Madam's was a delightful session. It was really awesome. Thanks a lot to all.
Always, Dhiren sir. Judy Madam is such a pleasure just to hear, the light language. You might have heard it so many times, but every time she's there, she takes you to another level. I'm a big fan of hers.
Well, I could see possibly you were getting the light language through you once she was, giving up the light language. I could see some, frequencies moving in your temple at that time. Yeah,
really?
she is really connected very deeply with you. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I really could feel it going all the way through my temples and coming back to my Agya
Yeah.
chakra. So that was so strong, Dhiren sir, at that time. Um, and I had to come out of it quickly because otherwise I would have gone into the zero zone. It would have taken me a long time to come out of it.
Yeah, when I saw you, with that kind of an expression, I was thinking you are going in the depth, and you fortunately opened your eyes and you came out. Yeah, so well
I
done.
know. I know. Thank you, sir. It's been really great having you all. I've been very lucky. I had chance to host a few sessions here on this platform. I spoke on one of the sessions and really a great organizing team. I'm still wondering, where is Sai Teja? Sai, are you there?
Yeah, he has come, madam.
Yes.
Yeah, my connection was lost due to
Yeah. So wonderful having you, Dhiren sir. Wonderful.
net connection. My connection here.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, at the time
Shall
when
I
you made me
conclude, madam,
speak, my
or you will
laptop
conclude here?
camera
My
was not
net
working.
is
I don't
not
know what went
unstable.
wrong over there. But now
Yeah.
I've joined with my
No.
camera mobile. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So
Anyways,
lovely to
thanks a
see
lot
your.
once again for
So lovely to see your glowing face, sir.
giving
It
the
is.
opportunity to.
It's better to have a face to connect to. I'm so glad we could see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you all the panelists, and thank you so much, Saroja, madam.
Thank
We
you,
are very
Sai.
glad to be with you on this, and
Yes. Sai to conclude, please.
Sai, conclude the session.
Yes. Actually, my voice is audible, no? My net is
Yeah.
not unstable
Yes,
here.
yes.
My voice is audible. Okay, I'm going here. Our heartfelt gratitude to all masters who shared the great wisdom and contributed to the success of digital Swadhyaya Yoga. It has been a great journey with support from masters, from volunteers from since day one. Truly appreciate your time and support. And we would like to thank all the participants who had joined Zoom and YouTube channels. Thanks a lot, everyone who is here today, taking things ourselves. And we would like to thank masters from PMC Global, Master Pari and Soumya, and PMC channel team, Krishna Garu and Anna Sai, who is really supporting us in this 21 days platform, giving live in global platform. And we are thankful to our flyer and thumbnails team, who they have done a great work in this Swadhyaya Yoga. Venkat sir and Kiran sir, thank you so much, sir, for being with us. And we would like to thank all masters who are coming us and supporting us, who share their wisdom. Next, we would like to thank each and every master, Dr. Karthikeyan sir, Dr. Newton sir, Judy ma'am, Rechandran sir, Dana ma'am, and Saroja ma'am, and Chandra sir, GK sir,
It's not live now.
and each and every master who have came here and shared their experience. And I would like to thank the technology who has supported us in this COVID time, which has shared our beautiful wisdom knowledge through this technology. And I would like to thank all the moderators who have done anchoring for this all 21 days program session. Firstly, Saroja madam, thank you so much for being here as a moderator.
Yeah, really, thank you
Guided
very
us
much,
and supported
Saroja
us.
madam.
Thank you, madam. Madam, first you have taken the anchoring of the session. Thank you so much, Anuradha madam. And Himangi madam from Pune, she has done the third day session of this Swadhyaya session. Next, Sneha ji from Orissa, where she has taken wonderful anchoring sessions. Next, they are the backbone who have taken over this platform into a major height. I would like to thank each and every moderator also, and Karunya ma'am and Sri Lakshmi ma'am. They have done their best in the moderating work. And I would like to thank PMC USA team who has given live Srikanth sir, and PMC UK team Sri Lakshmi madam. And I would like to thank Vietnam Masters who has promoted us this program. Thank you Om Shanti madam and Kim madam for this support. Next, I would like to thank our Suresh Babu Garu, who has been with us from day one to till end. Thank you so much, sir. You are as the backbone for this event. Thank you for the support. And I would like to thank our Spiritual India team, Sai Kumar Reddy sir, who has been a support for this program, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And
And
firstly,
Sai,
we are
I think
grateful to
Venkat
thank
sir
our
want to
Guruji
talk.
Brahmarshi Pitama Patriji sir, who has blessed this event.
Sir, Sai Venkat sir want to talk. So Venkat sir, you start your video and speak to Madam Saroja Madam. వెంకట్ సార్ మీరు
Yes, yes.
తెలుగులోనే మాట్లాడవచ్చు, ఏం లేదు.
I concluded, so I
వెంకట్ సార్ మ్యూట్ లో